Okay, beautiful. So let me share my screen. So, okay, can I get a thumbs up if you guys see my screen? Thumbs up or perfect, I see it. Amazing. So today's session is going to be about optimizing your LinkedIn profile. And I will go over some of the things that some of the important things, but I assume all of you know what LinkedIn is. And if not, then we will cover that briefly and some of the things that you can do on that platform. But it is one of the essential things that you're going to face as you're graduating or even like currently, because this is one of the representation ways to showcase yourself. And essentially, if you're applying for jobs, employers are definitely going to look you up on LinkedIn. And instead of having no control over your own search engine results, you most of the times your LinkedIn is likely to pop up when the recruiters are looking for you. So that's why it's really important to have full control over your image that you're presenting. And this is how you do it through LinkedIn. So a small agenda of what we're going to cover in this session is obviously we're going to go over the overview of what LinkedIn is and why is it important. We're going to go through section by section on how to build your profile. Can I get a thumbs up of those of you who have a LinkedIn profile set up? I see 1, 2, Amanda has it, Rania has it. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Michael, how about you? Do you have a LinkedIn profile? In the chat, not really. Okay, so this session is going to be really helpful for you because we're going to go from basics. I'm going to cover all of those things. So we're going to walk through every single detail of how to build your profile and make it effective. Obviously, how to optimize your profile and how to make it stand out. And one of the important things is how to connect with people. And at the end, I'm just going to provide some of the outreach templates I got from Amazon's Prime Student Initiative professional development agenda. So this is something really valuable, not coming from me, coming from experts. And we're going to wrap it up with some key takeaways. So what is LinkedIn? If you don't know about LinkedIn, LinkedIn is the world's largest professional network or social media platform on the internet. Why it is important is because it allows you to build your professional image, your personal brand, and it is really crucial to you being a working professional. It gives you power. You can negotiate your salary. If you have a really well-established brand, this is your way of positioning yourself in the job market. And when you are applying, you can gain some competitive advantage if you have a really good presence, especially in the fields of marketing, communications, business, most of the things that are digital, and especially with increased technological use, no matter which field you're in, most likely you'll be searched by your employers, as I mentioned earlier. So it is, some people don't like referring to it as a resume, but in a way it is, like it or not, it is your public and virtual resume that you showcase to people, but it has a twist. It is actually in a good way. So you get to have you got to share a lot more. You can share live updates with yourself. So it's not really fixed. You have history of interactions and people. It is public and people see it. So whatever feedback or testimonials that you get from other people are going to be displayed there. So it is a lot more valuable than the simple resume. But of course, it's not it. But it is still a version of it, if that makes sense. It is also important because it showcases your unique professional story through experience, skills, and education. But now what can you do with it? You can use it to find jobs and internships because LinkedIn has its own jobs marketplace. It's similar to Glassdoor, Indeed, and etc. You can find opportunities there, similar to the career portal that we have at CLNX at UTM, right, at U of T. You can connect and strengthen your professional relationships. You can stay in touch. So if you're going to a networking event, it's exchanging your business card, obviously, but it is in a digital way. You are also going to learn the skills that you need to succeed in your career as other people are sharing really valuable insights from their industry. So if you're following people that are good in certain fields, you are being updated on their on their thoughts, on their insights, and it is really valuable because you get exposed to third-party thoughts, right? So you get to observe this information on a regular basis as the person updating it. So you're growing as well. You're consuming the information. right? You are also building your social proof through endorsements and recommendations. So like it or not, but like it does give you some competitive advantage when you are going to the world, and when you are putting it forward your candidacy. It's similar as your personal brand. People are looking at it and they're paying attention to it. So the more endorsements and recommendations you have, obviously the more legitimate your profile is, the more seriously you are taken, and this is your competitive advantage. So you can also celebrate your and professional network's achievements. Obviously, you can stay in touch and see what everyone has been up to. And you can connect with like-minded individuals. Like I've gotten to know some people through LinkedIn, surprisingly, and I've met them on a networking event afterwards because we happened to be at the same place. And I was like, oh, I know your post, and I love reading your posts and your insights. And this person happened to be like really has opened my doors to other opportunities as well. So I got to attend the conferences in Toronto, really big conferences, and actually have been invited to join her book launch team. So obviously I don't have time for that yet, so I had to politely decline this, but the point is you get to connect with like-minded individuals, and it opens up opportunities to many things. So now building your profile, we're going to go section by section. So obviously profile picture is number one thing that you have on your LinkedIn. So some of the do's: make sure that you have a well-lit, clear, and high quality image, that you are easily recognizable, because I know there were some instances where the photos were actually so different from what the person looks like in real life. And that's the most awkward situation that you can be in. So don't be that person. Put yourself the way that you are, or without too much editing or too much, I don't know, or like don't use your old pictures. Obviously, you don't want to use your childhood pictures and show that to them, right? Make sure that you're using simple background or blurred, because the distracting or texturized backgrounds are actually they tend to be distracting and take away from the professionalism of the image. And it is best to look in the camera, but I do know that some people experiment with that and they are taking some angles from the sides. However, it is best to look in the camera and have it facing you. So some of the don'ts: obviously do not do unnatural poses because it looks awkward. Don't have any odd head or hand placement. And we already covered, you do not use cloudy or textured backgrounds. And please do not use selfies or mirror looks, because I've come across these and it was pretty cringy. So like a girl in her corporate job, like wearing a blazer, taking a picture in her mirror in the toilet and posts as a profile picture. It's no, just do not do that. Next, banner cover. So it represents who you are, what you do, and it can be a relevant image, quote, business logo, or something that's specific to you. I left the dimensions right there, so in case you wanted to create your own. And I left some examples here, and we can start with this one. For example, this is a colleague of mine from Clearco. So you can see here that she has a banner with a company logo. Obviously, it's amazing for if you are doing a sales job. This is easily recognizable. The person, like, you can tell the person is working at this company. And really nicely enough, like the reason her profile pops so much is because her profile picture is matching her background, which is amazing. So you see the black and white, it goes really hand in hand and it catches attention. So it makes your profile stand out. I put my example there, not to say that is obviously, I just want to show an example of how you can compile your personal achievements and put them into collage and use it as a banner. I know some people just use a picture of them in action, like whether they're presenting, where they're on stage. You can do that too, but the point is you can showcase yourself in action instead of any words. This is the first thing that people see, and they can get an idea of who you are, what you're like as a person, and perhaps if you had achievements, this is a way for you to impress them. So I personally have a collage of some of my achievements that I have compiled like in 2019. So it's been a while since I updated it. I have to update it, but the point is clear, right? So, and then there's a way that you can actually use your banner as your business card. So as you see here, Stephanie Nuesi, she put like her name in big, a really nice background, really nice colored, and some of her like achievements. You can see like some of the companies that I've seen on, right? So some of her social media handles too and contact information. So you can do that too. And this is another way to like make your profile pop, right? So now headlines. Your headline must be precise and to the point. It has to be clean, easily schemable, and approachable. And it is really good practice to use keywords. And it also can be directed to your target audience. You can mention it. So for example, that we have here, you can say that you're digital marketing for SaaS startups, right? So if it's your target audience that you're targeting, you can mention it if you're exclusively working with that target market. You can also be creative, include some emojis or symbols like we see in the example on the right. So we see Ali Khan. So he was pretty concise. He stated his positions, the @ sign, and then company that he's in, an emoji just to make it like, more eye-catchy. And then pretty much, and he also mentioned ex-Zynga. So like he also mentioned his past experiences, which is also helpful because sometimes people are looking at the company names and it also grabs their attention. And if this is a company they worked with or had any contact with or interest in, they most likely connect with this person as well. So the second example here, we see that this person kind of mentioned their positions, who they are, and also had the value proposition there. So you can see here, the person is using really like straight words like world-class executive with experience leading successful turnarounds, transformations, startups, and fast-growing companies. So the person mentioned their target market and what they do, right? So in what ways, right? Executive experience with leading, successful turnarounds and transformation. So the person is talking that they are the change maker, they're innovative. So these are the words that it's like their value proposition, as a statement that really sells you as a person right away. And he put it right there. And the third example, Luki has mentioned that he found his purpose helping others find theirs. So this is his tagline that he's using. And then he's using the divider to say the same thing, like communicate other parts of him, like parts of his profession, right? So who he is, what he does. And he also was a little bit more creative, and he was a little bit witty, and he included a DJ for professional development or personal trainer for your career. So it is definitely eye-catching. So it is really recommended to be a little bit more like witty about your thoughts and how you can present yourself. So now the about section. So in the about section, people go in different ways. You can write paragraphs, you can speak in third person view, you can speak in first person view, you can just have bullet points. It is completely up to you. But here, I just kind of used an example of the about section that I see most often across platforms, and how the structure that they're kind of following. So of course, the best practice is to introduce yourself and your offering, to start with that. Then it's really good to tell your story that reveals your personality. So some people provide some things about the fact that they're coming from an immigrant family, and obviously people who can relate to those experiences, who know how hard it is, they're gonna attach to that experience, they're gonna feel the connection, and this is your way of putting something out there for people to connect with, right? So like you can attract people based on similar experiences, and therefore you become more likable by this, right? Then you can address your target audience and describe how you can solve their pain point. So this is mainly for working professionals who have already established. I do realize, like with students, we are still figuring out what we want to do and how we can help, right? So you can keep that point in mind, but as you are discovering what you do, you can still like target this in your own ways, right? So keep that in mind. But again, this is really effective for those people who are fully in their careers and working in specific field or specific job. Do highlight your value proposition. So the thing that we mentioned earlier in the tag phrase, in your tagline. Value proposition is really important because this is what communicates how can you offer value, right, to people. And to add some credibility, it's really helpful to include some social proof, like our testimonials, results, where you can speak in numbers, saying that what you have achieved, and build this credibility. The call to action is CTA is optional, but it is also effective. So like if you are working independently. So when I was working as a freelancer, when I was designing a website, taking orders for any like marketing consultations, I would always put like, if you'd like to book a consultation, feel free to email me at my email, right? So call to actions are really helpful if you are trying to freelance, or if you'd like to offer services for people on a like personal basis, then call to action is really effective. But like if you are working with companies and not open to any work outside of your company, then probably there's no point of that. But it is worthwhile to keep in mind. Adding your keywords naturally, instead of like just putting like hashtags for keyword, like just marketing period, like marketing optimization period, graphic design period. Instead of that, try to flow it naturally in a paragraph, because it's also good for your optimization, and it communicates the story. So now the featured section. So this section is perfect for adding your call to action and showcasing your work. So this is exactly the first thing that you want people to see. If it's like a post about your achievement and you want to like show them that you have won certain award or you have been recognized in certain ways, this is a place that you can do so. This is like a moment for you to shine your biggest achievements or things that you're proud of, or you'd like people to see the articles you've written, things that you have worked, like your samples of your work. This is the perfect section to add it on. So you can add your previous LinkedIn posts, LinkedIn articles that you have written, any media like photos, documents, and presentations, as we see here in examples. And the most helpful that people usually find is links to web content. So if you have your own personalized portfolio, if you have your, depending on whether or not you want to be public, if you want people to see and go into your portfolio every single time, you can leave it up there. But I personally have my portfolio separate, and I usually submit it with my resume or to the recruiters directly, because I don't want like other people to see my work. This is like, but it's really personal. Like it's more like if you don't have any problems with sharing, this is good for you. You can have it all on there because you can attract additional opportunities this way. But for me, it's more like, it is constantly updating. Sometimes the work is very old for me, so I do not want people to embarrass myself by showing my old work. Whereas I could actually take the time to update my work and then send it to the recruiter with a fresh updates, right? So this is the feature section, a really helpful one, and I've heard that it has been installed in 2019, I believe. So it is a fairly new feature that you should definitely take advantage of. Next section is background section, and that's the biggest and the most important section on your profile. So first one, work experience. This is where you get a chance to tell the recruiters what, when, and how, what you did, what company, where you did it. I forgot to add where. So the company that you worked in, and like when, the times, and how, right? So like what exactly, how did you perform your duties? This section is really similar to resume. It is preferred that you include bullet points, but you can also write paragraphs, or I saw some people include information about the company. So like saying that this X company is performing this services for this, right? And then like my responsibilities included this and this. So they did like a small summary of their experience. But again, it is similar idea with the resumes. Like recruiters prefer to see bullet points. They don't want to waste time on reading paragraphs. If you can convey the idea in a bullet point, why write the whole sentence? So, and another recommendation in terms of how to optimize it is to add keywords to your work experience description, which is really, really helpful. And especially if you want to be searched or found on LinkedIn easily and rank higher when people type your name, for example, or your profession or your industry. The education, that adds value, and it helps with LinkedIn search as well. It can be a good tool for people to find you based on the same things that they share, right? So like in a lot of cases, if students are looking for ways to connect with their fellow alumni from the same institution who has gone through the same experience, they use this feature when they're filtering out, and they will be able to find you. It also adds some prestige, given that all of you are at University of Toronto, studying University of Toronto, and there is some prestige to it. So it adds value, significant value to your profile and to your background. Licenses and certifications is a good opportunity to highlight your specific skills and expertise. So if you have, like, especially given that our program, Children Press Management, is pretty vague. it is really complicated to explain to recruiters what it is and what we do. So, and the knowledge, the extent to which we gain our knowledge in certain fields is pretty shallow, I would say. So, but I love it because we get to dip our toes in every single area of business or IT. And then from there, we make the decision to pursue something in depth and pursue certifications. So for example, you can put your Google Analytics certification there, and it is a really good asset that many recruiters in the marketing industry, digital marketing industry, are looking for. And if they see this license, sometimes they can also search professionals based on the certifications. So a lot of people are including, like, for example, CPA, CFA, right? So things, if you're working in law, like there's certain qualifications that you should have, your test scores, if you would like. But in our case, you can just include some of the certifications that we have done at UTM. So, certificate of media skills that you might have received during our reading weeks, or there's also like the certificates in partnership with Sheridan, if you have completed. If not, there will be more available that provided by ICCIT department. But this is a perfect place to include those as well, because it does showcase that you have gone extra mile to improve your skill set, and recruiters love it, right? So, and also you can include some of the additional course that you have taken online yourself. Like, this is a perfect way to showcase that you are passionate about, you are skilled in these areas. So if you want to do an email marketing certification, or like SEO, like how to optimize search engine, people will see that you have an expertise in that because you have completed a separate course and you have been certified in that field. So you have a little bit more credibility this way, and that's what's really helpful. Volunteer experience doesn't add that much value, but it reflects your personality and showcases your passions. So what things are you interested in, the social causes that you care about, and just the things that you have done out of goodwill, right? So not to say that recruiters are often looking at it, but it is helpful to showcase also your things that you have done on your free time, things that you have helped with, right? So this is like the things that you're passionate about most of the times. Now the skills section. So this one is one of the most searched, the criteria through which recruiters are usually searching for. So this is the section of your profile where you can add any of your skills that you would like to highlight. Usually hard skills are more preferred than soft skills because there's no way to know if you are really skilled at, say, conflict resolution, right? So, or like communication with people, right? So these are the things that you cannot measure, but with hard skills, you can actually know that it takes time and effort to learn these skills, where you are actually sitting down and studying the subject to learn it. So if you are having skills in the endorsement section, I would recommend to put your hard skills. But if the position that you're hoping to go into is really more like requires a lot of soft skills, then you should go ahead and put those instead, because if that's important to in the area that you want to go into, then make sure to put that. And when you're on LinkedIn, you get to choose 3 top skills from the list that you have compiled. And this is the skills that people are looking the most at. And these are pretty much your areas of expertise. So you should be mindful of the things that you're putting, how specific or how vague they are. So if you'd like to, usually, because I feel like I can be skilled at SEO, at email marketing, at graphics and social media management, these kind of things. There's growth marketing, there's email marketing, and etc. I would put marketing because I don't want to, there's just too many things of this, and I don't want to take up, I have only 3 spots available. So instead I chose a really vague skill, and I put marketing, right? So, and I get to, people get to endorse me. They have seen my marketing expertise and they know I'm good at it. So they endorse it, and that kind of adds credibility to my profile. So, sorry, just gonna turn off the notification that distracted me. But so this is a way that to add it. But if you are working in specific fields. So if you're like, let's say the computing, like software engineering, right? So if they're using specific language code in which they're like proficient in, they usually put like Java, or just give me a second. I'm just going to turn off notifications. But so you can put really specific skills depending on your background and how you want to present yourself and where you are aspiring to gain more skills in. So that is the skills and skills and endorsements. And one tip I would give is to endorse other people too. So if you are looking to get endorsements, like it is always good to be the first to take the initiative, because if you, and obviously you don't want to endorse people that you don't know, because I've received some of those. I was like, I don't know these people, why do they endorse me? They have never worked with me. And like, I have no reason to endorse them back. But if these people that I've worked with and they know my work ethic and I know theirs, they are most likely going to return the favor back and endorse me back. So if you're looking to gain more endorsements, this could be the way. But again, do not expect that. Do it out of like when you're being genuine, and don't go randomly and endorse every single person that you know. I mean, why not? But like it also adds to your reputation, right? So like take it as you wish, but this is another way to gain more endorsements. And one thing that I missed is the fact that you can take assessments on LinkedIn. So one thing about LinkedIn that is good is that you can get qualified in whatever skills you're in if you take a mini assessment, and those results are usually hidden. So unless you make them public. So don't be afraid to take those, give it a try, but you're going to have additional mark on your next to your skill that you have been verified, which is good. The accomplishment section. This is another place to let people know about you and your work. This is a perfect place if you want to put any courses that you have taken, right? Topics, specifically in our like DM program, especially given that we have a really wide range of courses. It could be helpful to include some of them, but try to put the ones that matter to you the most, or to the position that you're applying for, to the things that you envision yourself doing. It's better to include those instead of like, say, like if most of your things have been done in like DM program, for example, and then you have taken one philosophy course, like you don't want to put philosophy course there, because it just like, it doesn't, there's not much point, unless it's like psychology and you want to do marketing. Obviously it is somewhat beneficial, but like if it's something irrelevant, you'd rather not put it. You can also include any projects that you have carried out, some organizations, honors and awards. So if you have received any honors, awards, this is the perfect place to put that. Test scores, languages that you speak, and the organization that you have been part of. Like this is a perfect place for like clubs, academic societies that you have been part of, if you'd like. But this is another section to share your achievements with. Recommendation section is where you can request people for recommendations, or they can give it to you on their own. So this usually displays as a testimonial on your profile, and quotation marks, and the people who gave it to you, their profile stands right next to them. So like if recruiters are going into your profile and they have some recommendations, they're going to get to check out the profile of the person who gave that recommendation. So if it comes from a really well-established person, it is it has a large, good value, decent amount of value. So when you are, some of the best practices to go about the section is to ask the right people for recommendations. Do not go ahead and request a recommendation from every single person. It is also really good to give them a heads up in advance, saying that, hey, I'm building my LinkedIn profile and I'd really appreciate if you could take a moment to help like write a few words about me and how you found it, like the experience of working with me, right? So it is best to ask your peers, supervisors, clients, if you have had clients, or like someone that you have helped out or did a favor to. It is a perfect like reason to, but of course don't really go on and just like ask every single person. And make sure that your recommendations are relevant to what you are offering to your target audience. So if you are a digital marketing professional, make sure that the person is kind of mentioning some of the things that you have done and the ways that you have done, the methods, and etc. That's it on the build your profile section. That was the biggest part of our session. Now we're going to go into how to optimize your profile, right? So although we have touched based on things that you can optimize in every single section. In general, here are some of the ways that you can do it. So keywords, super important. Again, this is not just like a simple platform that you cannot search up. There are algorithms involved, there are searches involved, right? And the way that people are doing it, it is your search engine, but in a across profiles, right? So like you want to make sure that you're ranking high, that people can easily find you whenever they type either your name, your industry, the company that you're working for. You want to make sure that you show up more, right? Because that increases your exposure and that increases your profile credibility. So, and it also gives a clear idea of what you do and who you work with, because you avoid using really vague words in your profile that people don't usually use. If you can say something really specific instead of providing a really fancy name to it, go with the simplest version because it's better for your optimization and easier for people to understand what you do exactly. Because there are some professionals out there who like to fancy up what they do. It's like once I've heard is like a personal trainer usually goes into instead of saying a personal trainer, he goes about a personal consultant working on the physique, and like a little bit better, like a little bit more vague. I'm actually going into detail so you can guess that it's a personal trainer, but the words that he has used have been so irrelevant. So it confuses people. People would like spend some time thinking about what does this person do? Like it's still not clear. They told me I read this, but it's still not clear what they do, right? So you want to avoid that. It's better to use the keywords and be straight to the point. Customize your URL. So if you have created your profile and you have not done so, please do so, because this is really convenient when you're sharing your profile with other people in person or online. When you're sharing, you copy the link to your profile and just send it to you. It's nicer to have your name, your last name, or anything that you'd like to include, like whether if you associate with a company, you can say like, for example, linkedin.com/Samina/Clearco, Samina/Clearco, for example. Like if that's something that I want to associate with, it's better than having Samina 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So a whole bunch of numbers that are irrelevant, that are not really easy to remember. So always customize your link URL, and it's going to help to optimize your profile. Last but not least, do not spam, do not overpost, do not send any provocative messages, because as I mentioned, LinkedIn is still a platform where there is an algorithm. So they do tend to pick up on this kind of things, on suspicious activities, and you want to make sure that you avoid being banned from the platform, because there is a possibility that you can be, like, if your profile gets reported too many times, or if you overpost, like the maximum amount of time that you can post is like once or twice a day, but it also depends on the consistency, right? So like if you did it like 2 posts in a day in 3 months, that's fine. But like if you're doing like 5, 6 posts every single day, stop it, do not do it. So this is most likely going to result in the platform decreasing your exposure. So they will figure out that you're being spammy, and they will avoid showing your profile as much and flag it on their back end, right? So you don't want that. You want to make sure that you are always ranking like at the top and can be easily found. Now, how to stand out across the platform, so across the other candidates, so on LinkedIn, right? So given the fact that we are still in university, right? So many of you are still students, and the chances are that most students have not even started their profiles. They have not set anything up. So the fact that you're doing it now is already kind of putting you ahead of the game, and you are already standing out on your own, right? So to stand out even further on LinkedIn, it is really helpful to use the newest features on LinkedIn. So things like LinkedIn stories, LinkedIn polls, name pronunciation. So that feature I actually really like. It's your perfect opportunity to also deliver like a 10, I believe it's limited to 10 seconds, but this is your opportunity to share like, hi, my name is Samina, like, and think like for my personal profile, I said like, hi, my name is Samina. Thank you so much for visiting my profile page. Looking forward to connecting with you. So this is where you can add some customization, be a little bit more creative in order to stand out. One of the recent features on LinkedIn is the profile video. So instead of profile photo, although you do still have a profile photo, you can also add the video, which is really helpful because you can record a really quality content and have your quick pitch on LinkedIn so that people can see it right away. And because not many people have used these features yet, this is what is going to help you stand out, right? Another thing is like carousel images and organic posts, but this is like something similar to Instagram carousel where you get to share multiple posts if you'd like, but this is another feature that is also worthwhile considering. Make sure to share meaningful posts. Don't simply share like what is happening in your life, period, but try to reflect on these things and show growth, because storytelling is a really important part of creating content, right? So you want to make sure that you are providing some story behind it, because it's a lot more interesting and engaging to read, and people are most likely to like there's also opportunity to add some emotional attachment, right? So and pop up a little bit more, right? So and make sure to tag relevant companies, people, or hashtags whenever you're posting. So if you are sharing about the job that you have gotten, right, make sure to tag the company that you're going to, the people that helped you with, thanking them, right? So like, and the reason is because it also gets to show up on their profile. So when you tag somebody, it increases your reach. So the chances of your post being seen is actually is expanding to their connections as well. So this is your opportunity to perhaps make your post stand out if you'd like to increase reach. So it's worthwhile trying. And hashtags are going to just put you in the search engine a little bit better. So and the algorithm is going to narrow down your profile in certain category when you are using consistently the same hashtags or similar hashtags. So it would help you rank up a little bit higher. And last but not least, be creative, play with visuals, feel free to do videos instead of photos, which are more engaging. And also don't be afraid to be witty. And as an example for that, I've included a screenshot of one of my coworkers at Clearco post that actually have gone fairly viral, I'd say, because so he made a witty post about somewhat a parody of him receiving a job offer, following something that most people do, I'm thrilled to announce that I will be starting a position at X company. So he went around about it and said that I'll be joining Netflix as a premium subscriber, which is pretty much similar to you're still a consumer. It's not a new job, it's not anything, but he went about it with some humor, and that post went viral. If you go into comments, you get to see people are laughing, a lot of people are thanking him for making their day. And the guy went from having no exposure or underdeveloped LinkedIn profile to boom, so he realized the importance of optimizing it, because the post went fairly viral and he was seeing it as an opportunity to ramp up his LinkedIn profile. So he did. And now he's working at Square. He has amazing opportunities out there. Obviously, it's not only because of the LinkedIn post, but it showcases the fact that he knows how to the fact that the way of his thinking, his personality shows through that post. And sometimes recruiters are finding it really helpful to see. So be creative. Now, how to connect with people. So it is really important to personalize your connection requests. You don't want to just receive a connection request with a person that you don't know. Although you can send them a message, it is really important to not share the generic one. And although I will provide you with some templates after this, I still want you to personalize it even further, because these are really generic ones, just to provide some structure to your message, but you're still responsible for customizing it even further. So you can say, hey, I love the fact that you are working in this field, and I've seen samples of your work and I really admire them, and I would love to connect and perhaps even hop on a call to get to know a little bit, to hear more about it, because I'm considering, I see you as an example, could be, right? So when you are praising people like this and being genuine, it's really important, right? You're most likely stand out in their eyes too. So when it comes to if you are looking for a mentor, like in a professional industry, right? So, or in a company that you're hoping to work in, if you establish this connection, it's going to help you in the long run. So, but be mindful, be always cautious and cautious. I know how to pronounce this word, but and professional. It's really important. Give recommendations. It is just like as much as you want the recommendations, everyone else on LinkedIn who cares about their social media persona, their personal brand, they want recommendations too, and they would appreciate it. So if you give them to your former team members or your colleagues, they will most likely do the same to you. And it also will boost up, not only will it like increase the bond between you and professional bond, right, but it also would benefit it would add value to your profile. And be the cheerleader in the, people usually withhold from making the step and actually like initiating some interaction. But if you are taking the initiative and being the cheerleader, hyping up your friends, coworkers, people that you have, that you know that know you, obviously you don't want to like hype up people that you don't know or who probably don't know about your existence. You want to do it, you want to establish it with the people that you know, that you have had interaction with, and you show that you are being supportive of them. And obviously that may return back. Obviously do not expect everything to be back. Just be genuine, give that support and genuine support, like hype up the people that you see with their achievements, because in LinkedIn, most of the people are sharing about their like milestones, achievements, right? So they are certainly looking for some praise, right? So, and if you give that to them, they would appreciate it a great deal. So, and they'll most likely do the same. Now, I've included some of the like outreach templates here at the end. As I said, make sure to customize it even further, because this is just a generic skeleton of what you can talk or mention. But essentially, I've included two, and these are provided by our professional development team from the Prime Student Initiative at Amazon. But this is really simple. Obviously, do not copy paste it. Please do not add your customization. Otherwise, you won't stand out from and it's really generic, right? So like, it's really, but essentially you can start with like, if you're messaging someone to an employee, the company that you're applying to, you can mention the fact that like, you're looking to expand your network in this industry, and you're applying for the position in the company that the person is currently looking at, and would love to connect to her more about the career path and journey. Here's where you could actually talk about things that have impressed, like why did you choose this person to reach out to, right? Like, so you can say like, I've read your posts about this and this, and I found it really fascinating. I would love to like get on a coffee chat with you if you'd like. So surprisingly, I've received like coffee chat invitations like this. And after that, people got opportunities like a Clicker specifically, right? So I got a chance, like I've been reached out to for a coffee chat, and especially with people who are, say, obviously if you reach out to like someone who is really active and has a lot of connections, and they're probably not checking social media, their LinkedIn profile as much, the chances of you getting in coffee chat are pretty low if they're like in a really senior position. But you can target people who are like not yet they could be managers, or they could be like team leads, or even like people who are at their entry levels too, because like they can push out the word up there, but it like the chances of like, of you getting a coffee chat and time with them decreases as the rank of their position increases. So you got to choose your trade-off based on that. The second one is like, if you'd like to just get your informational interview and like to connect with the person, same thing. And this one invites you for a coffee chain or email chain. I need some coffee, to an email chain or a phone, really similar to the previous email, but you can use it as well. So to wrap up our session, as I see that we are kind of on time. So some of the key takeaways from this session that I want you to consider is that LinkedIn is really valuable for your personal brand and networking. So it's really worthwhile to creating it at the earliest convenience. So right now would be a really sweet spot for you. Just like if you don't have the LinkedIn profile optimized, or you haven't started yet like posting or anything, this is a perfect time to do so. I know it can put you out of your comfort zone, but trust me, it will pay off, and you'll see a great deal of support from your current connections. Obviously, try to connect with the people that you know first before if you haven't made your first post yet, try to connect with the people that you know, and then once your follower base is big enough, they will most likely see your updates. So if you are sharing some win, like a job that you have started, they will most likely support it, and you're going to start this way. You're going to start your activity on LinkedIn. The second point is to optimizing LinkedIn will increase your exposure and add value to your personal brand, and will give you competitive advantage. The third point is, in order to stand out, make sure to stay active, optimize your profile, use the newest features, share meaningful posts, and be creative. So staying active is an important part. And I must say, I have been slacking off that just because I've been working in one job, and it's a lot trickier to stay updating and write articles or posts about something that is nothing like an event. But in the long run, I am looking forward to more expanding a little bit more, so that I can be profile, share some things, share some thoughts. If you are active on Twitter and you're sharing really worthwhile insights, you could utilize LinkedIn in a similar way. And perhaps that could be your tool of going viral, like my coworker did, like my colleague did. And last but not least, when it comes to your connections, make sure to personalize connection requests, give recommendations, and be the cheerleader in your connection with a person. But taking the initiative will help you to get your results faster. And that is it. So right on the dot. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself or type the question in chat. Meanwhile, I'm gonna pause the recording. I shall stop the recording. Okay, any questions so far? How are we feeling? No questions? Okay, perfect. Was it helpful? Thank you, Sydney. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Perfect. I'm glad to hear that. As always, I'll share this slides on Corcus. And thank you, Amanda. So now I guess I will, is everyone for the social event, sorry, for the social board game night, I just want to see the date range between April 8th and 15th. Does it work for everyone here, at least? Yes, Sydney works for Sydney, works for Michael. I know works for Rania. Amanda, how about you? Yes, to Rania, hopefully. Okay, yes. And are you all guys are comfortable, not comfortable, is it too, I do realize because Toronto is far from Mississauga. And are you all willing to commute to Toronto? Because I will be hosting it at my apartment downtown. I have a whole bunch of board games there, and just want to make sure that you guys travel safely, and if you are going to be okay with the commute. If there's any concerns about the commute. No problem. Okay. Okay, beautiful. No problem. Okay, amazing. So I'll keep you updated then. keep your eyes on the WhatsApp chat because I'm not allowed to organize these things through the program. So this will be like a casual thing that we are doing outside of the program. So the main mode of communication is going to be WhatsApp. So please do check it really closely. If I'm sending any doodle polls or any updates, address, any further details, or would love your feedback as well, please keep your eye on there and we're going to continue our conversation there. Perfect. Okay, thank you guys. You are free to go and I'm looking forward to meeting you in person. You got this. We are finishing the last 2 weeks of classes. Keep pushing and excited to see you. Thank you. That's me.